But
Thank you, everyone, and greetings. Welcome to the Madison College Student Senate General Assembly. I now call this meeting to order on Thursday, November 7th at 4:30 p.m. At this point, I'd like to let you know that we'll be doing roll call.
roll call starts now. Executive Council, President Brito,
President accounted for.
Vice President of Administration and Finance, Tao, President.
Elon, can you speak up just a little bit?
Vice President of Legislative Affairs, Hashmi.
President.
Vice President of Team Development, Sullivan.
President.
Vice President of Public Relations, Jackson Winters.
President.
Advisor Cole.
Present.
Who Trust Campus Senator, Senator Avila.
President.
Senator Sarah Brunner.
Here.
Senator Kamara.
Present.
Senator Jacobson.
Absent.
Senator Drew.
Present.
Senator Wilkin.
Present.
Senator Valario.
Senator. President.
Go to regional and metro campuses. Voltage Senator Crowder.
President.
Reedsburg Senator Stacy Brunner.
Present.
Fort Atkinson Senator Dirks.
Present.
Goodman South Senator Bissonnette.
Present.
Quorum is met. Thank you very much. Moving on, I would just like to say welcome to everyone. Our General Assembly meeting of the Madison College Student Senate is a public meeting and will be recorded for transparency and record-keeping purposes. We're going to cover a few basic items before beginning. If you lose a connection at any point during the meeting, you can reconnect by clicking the link or calling number in your original email. To senators and other members online, please activate your video and keep it on for the duration of the meeting when it's possible. Use the raise hand feature when you'd like to be recognized to speak, ask questions, or request a roll call vote. As chair, I'll do my best to call on committee members in the order in which hands are raised. Lowering your hand will take you out of the queue. At this point, we can move on to the next item, which would be approval of the previous meeting minutes. Cole, would you mind pulling that up? And these will be meeting minutes from Thursday, October 24th. And this would be, come on in.
Welcome, Derek.
So yeah, so these are meetings, this is from there. I was not there, unfortunately. Neither was Annette. We were present at WISCOR. We were in at Waukesha Community Technical College. We were doing the Wisconsin Technical College System, Wisconsin Conference on Race and Ethnicity. Although I do know that you had a very vigorous discussion with Dr. Kit Carlson, as well as Brian Woodhouse from Madison College Foundation. Among that, there were some other items and points of discussion with the normal reports, talking about the Student Achievement Center, as well as talking about the town hall, giving a small update on the President's Search Committee, and then doing an update on the WSG check-in there. Does that all look in accordance with anyone? If it does, you may make a motion to approve. Motion to approve from VP Salifu. Do we have a second? Second from Senator Villarreal. Do we have any further discussion on this topic? Discussion? You're eager. Okay, no further discussion at this point. We could do a vote of unanimous approval. If there is no opposition, this motion passes in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Motion passes. The meeting minutes are approved.
One
Moving on.
extension. How was it?
Sorry?
One extension
4.
for meeting minutes.
You have an abstention.
Yes.
Oh, sorry. Yes, it's unanimous approval, but I kind of made a yes automatically. I was assuming we would, but good to point that out. Yep.
Approving the meeting.
Yep. Oh, those are approved. Yep. But now we're moving on to reading and approval of the meeting agenda. So Cole, if you want to pull that up. Take a second there, and then Maggie, while they look at it, do you have something to say?
Yeah, I wanna, add some adjustment to the agenda.
So what Maggie is saying is that Maggie wants to make an amendment to the agenda. What would you like to specifically amend?
I wanna, fix some of the hours,
So you want to make an appeal
appeal, yeah.
to it? Does that meet the,
Yeah, well, you gotta give me a second since I gotta go into. If I can get my email, I can give you further.
let's see if that's possible at this time.
So your request was made, verified by myself and the VP of Administrative Finance. The only method that has to be met is we need specific instances for the points being appealed. As that is a part of the request. So if that is made known currently of what specific instances you are appealing, we can amend the agenda then to have that appeal for later today.
Okay, it sounds like we'll work on what specific points for next week. It'll be open for that. Dr. Venus will be coming at some point to this, so can we work on this next week?
That's fine.
Okay, thank you. Further,
Yes, I wanted to add a short activity or at least an announcement about an activity to maybe, new business. I noticed outside of, student life that they had the help us report on the learning and or working environment at Madison College. And I don't know how many people are familiar with that. It's the climate one where they have like a sun, a rainbow, clouds, stormy. And it's basically to gather, like how we feel about the climate of Madison College right now. And I did graph the form.
it sounds like it's a pretty vigorous discussion right now.
Well,
Do you want
I'm
to?
just making
yeah.
sure people understand what it is
Yeah.
before they vote. And so I'm just asking that as student senators, the voice of the Madison College student body, that we participate in this particular survey.
Sure, how about, 5, 10
That's perfect.
minutes?
Just so
5
that
minutes,
people-
5 minutes
I
in
can
the,
grab the forms,
non-business
people-
housekeeping, the first
Correct.
section there? Okay, 5 minutes to, what would you call that? Like,
Just to participate in the survey.
school survey?
Yep.
We'll just call it that, okay. Maggie, do you have some further amendments?
Like, introducing, somebody, is it gonna take time? Or can it-
We'll do that right after this.
Okay.
Yep, so that you can do that right after.
Okay.
Okay, so at this point, Brent, I mean, if we're okay with that amendment, so, and that's making a motion to have an amendment to the agenda, which to include 5 minutes of discussion about a school survey that's taking place downstairs.
I'll second.
You second that? Okay, so at this point, this is just voting on the amended agenda, which I'm okay with accepting since if we wrote the agenda, are you okay with accepting the amendment? Okay, so we can just move that on to the main motion, and then we can just vote on the amended, motion. Motion to approve the amended agenda. I'm assuming you're okay with that? Is that,
I motion to approve the amended agenda.
okay, do we have a second? From VP Jackson Winters at this point. Is there any discussion? Seeing none online?
No.
Okay, at this point, then we could do a vote of unanimous approval. If if no one opposes, then this motion passes. Seeing opposition in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Vote of unanimous approval has been passed. Motion carries. We can move on with the agenda, with the amended agenda to have 5 minutes discussion in the new business section for the first part. Moving on to public comments. This would be where, Maggie, you could do your introduction.
Okay, I want to introduce, Declan Rector, who wants to know more about the Senate and, he's really interested in joining in, so he's here with us today, so if you guys can welcome him.
Welcome, Declan. A lend a voice to a senator feature. If someone here, chair cannot do this, but
I'll do
someone
that.
would like to, okay, and that is lending your voice to Declan Rafter. So we follow parliamentary procedure here, and some of those features are maybe be foreign to you, but that's why you came here, you wanted to learn. So that is lending her voice to you as a member of this body to allow you to speak during our scheduled meeting time. So what is it that you would like to say?
Oh, right now?
If you want to, you don't have to.
Can I ask that? Could you, introduce yourself? Tell us what program you're in?
What major?
And why did you want to come here today?
Exactly.
Okay, sounds good. I'm Declan Raptor, and I'm in the liberal arts transfer program right now. I've got one more semester here before transferring to UW-Madison. I'm interested in going into political science, but initially I declared that I was looking to study psychology. But honestly, just being in this environment, going to the college Dems meeting, that was really interesting to me, and I just wanted to check it out in more detail. I haven't read the bylaws yet, so I don't really know how you guys go about your procedures. And
I hope you like reading laws. That's a 40+ page document.
I do. I really do, actually.
Let's just see how many pages that is. That is, oh, it's not even, it's 29, so
It's 29, it's not.
29.
There's a lot of
It's not really bad.
don't worry, we plan on adding some.
And you
additional
don't need to
pages.
memorize all of it, you know.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
not that.
It's light work, no reaction.
I feel like I remember Article 4 a lot, though. Funny if you know what we're talking about. Yeah, so that's kind of what it's at. Yeah, any additional items you'd like to add?
Oh, to the agenda?
Yeah, hopes that you'd like to learn? No, you can't add anything to the agenda. but That's,
Oh, no, I'm just here to
Yeah.
observe, really.
okay.
Thanks for having me.
Well, thank you very much. Yes.
Could we, share the process for becoming a senator?
I did share that with him.
I didn't say that you did, but I just want to make sure that we make sure it's clear and it's on record too.
Sure, we have some time, Cole.
Yeah.
Would you like to?
Yeah, so essentially for the process to join Student Senate, first eligibility is you must be enrolled in at least 6 college earning credits, meaning not continuing education, that to be 6 credits for your toward your diploma. And a minimum GPA of, I believe it's 3.0.
I think it's
2.5.
2.5.
2.5, even better, 2.5. I know it's probably a little bit high. Once you have met that, then we just have a requirement of attending 3 meetings. Of those 3 meetings, 2 of them must be consecutive, meaning that if you came this week and you came next week, you could wait till the last meeting, which is in December. And we could go through and review the process of a question and answer and then doing a secret ballot vote, allowing you to kind of tell us why you're interested in Senate. And we would vote for you to join Senate for the next semester or for the immediate meeting follow. That's about it. Am I correct in that?
Yeah, that all sounds good to me.
Thank you.
Very descriptive.
And I did mention like we get stipend to like,
Yes.
which he was really very excited about. So yeah.
Yes, there are additional compensation. There is additional compensation that stems from,
Our
sorry, I'm just seeing a note here, that come from the position you're in as well as any additional tasks that may be assigned to you.
I want to clarify, I did not know you guys got paid. I was
Yeah.
just interested in learning more about like how the
Not a problem. Appreciate
the
it.
schools run.
Okay,
And
yes.
I'm
and then-
sorry, can we also share like the requirements once you become a senator, like the 2 committees, the amount of time?
Sure, yeah, it's estimated that you spend about 6 to 8 hours per week, with some weeks potentially being more, depending on what's going on and what you want to get involved with. But 6 to 8 is general expectation. If you just kind of meet the expectations of what we have for you, it's going to, this General Assembly for 2+ hours, depending on where we're at, or less. But with our Senate, we typically don't go less, but that's kind of what goes on there. We do have 2 committee assignments. Currently, right now, I don't know if you all knew this, but we actually suspended one of your committee assignments because shared governance was currently suspended this semester. So we just didn't have that requirement active. So yeah, so some of you will be next semester, continuing on, there will be another committee assignment that you will have, or shared governance. So congratulations to some of our people who got into shared governance. That'd be Sylvia and Annette and Yulong and Nohaya. And I feel like I'm forgetting Stacy and Angel.
Yes.
Yeah, so all of us, so just a little. Well, but those are some of the requirements that we're expecting. Okay, at this point, maybe we should have a motion to table the discussion with Dr. Daniels. I know he's downstairs right now. I wonder if someone should go downstairs and also maybe like, just be like, see if he's still down there, like maybe route him to his office.
Me too.
I can go do it.
Yes.
I mean, I think Hassan is ready. He's looking like, yeah.
Hassan's ready to go.
Yeah, go find him.
I'm gonna go next to see if he's gonna come up.
Sure. Just if he's still down at the town hall.
Okay.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Hassan.
And then he's looking good.
Hassan's gonna do it? You're gonna come back though, right?
Yeah,
It looks like he's ready to go and find him. Like,
Yes.
Okay, yeah. There we go. We're trusting you, son, so thank you. So yeah, so can we get a motion to table that discussion? So, okay, yeah, I think I saw him first, sorry. Motion from Senator Dirk, second from VP Senator.
Senator.
Sorry, I'm so used to it, Crowder. Okay, any discussion on that? Seeing no discussion, it looks like we can have a vote of unanimous approval. If no one's opposed to tabling, the public comment section for Dr. Daniels, then we can, yeah, that motion will pass in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, it'll be tabled for a later date, later time when he comes back into the room, and we'll just kind of suspend everything that's going on. At this point, do we have a team building activity from Ohio? Maybe Salifu?
It's not an activity. It is about like the end of the year celebrations. What? It is about the end of the year celebrations. I know like the previous year they do like some food and lunch together and then like people talking. But this year I was planning to do like some traveling with all of us together to go like and do like some tea development, like to build some connection between us. That would be 2 days trip. So we plan to go on Sunday and come back on Monday and we're going to the water park. So actually, we're thinking about the 15th and 16th December. So we open a survey link so people can sign up if they're available or not. So we know how many people is coming in and then start do the reservation. That will be in December. So just it will be the same with the graduations. I think graduation is 12 and then we're going like the Sunday of the same week. So yeah, if people know they have like they're available right now, just let us know. Otherwise, send an email and we can also open the survey form and like know how many people is coming in, do the reservation, and then plan the trip. I don't know if someone had a question.
To Annette and then Jupiter is on deck.
Do we have a close date on the survey? Like what day they need to respond by?
I would say next week, end of the next
Next
week.
week by Thursday,
Yes.
I'm thinking, yeah. Maggie, energy.
Who's paying for it?
The next.
That is paying for, most, if not all of it.
Transportation and everything?
Everything,
I
yeah.
think we will have to do our own transportation. I don't know about the payment for transportation.
We-
Depends on how it's budgeted for that, but lodging for sure, some food, if not all food.
Mhm.
And then, obviously like the ticket to the
Yeah, go ahead.
Villa
Chula
Chula
Vista.
Chula Vista.
I've never been to the water park when it's winter, so is the water gonna be?
It is, yeah, it's why we.
Yeah, water is more, yes, the water.
It's gonna be cool, you guys count me out.
No, it
It's
is
an
a,
indoor water park.
It's an indoor water park, yeah.
So the outdoor park is closed, the indoor water park is open, it's a warm
I'm-
environment,
I'm
the water is
curious.
the same temperature.
That's a
as
fine
normal,
question.
and there's also a hot tub as long as it's open.
Oh, okay, then I just wanna be sure, it is, I am so like.
don't worry.
So I
Also
believe it's
during-
on a
During
Sunday
like
and a Monday.
winter time, but the inside they have like the heat and all
You
these
work
stuff, so it's
Saturday.
be fine.
So the lodging is sleeping there,
Yes.
Yes, we went Sunday, spend the night, and then come back Monday here at Madison.
Sunday evening or
Sunday morning.
morning, so
Yes.
whole day activity, then next day in the morning leaving, right?
Yeah, because the plan is to go there, like have some lunch and then start doing some activities. Then spend the night do also some activities. And then the next morning also like have fun and then come back during like probably the evening at Madison.
About the when?
In the evening, like 5 p.m. come back at Madison.
Monday.
I just want to do like a simple, like,
So
based
the
on.
food is gonna be on us.
No, we pay for the food.
Okay, everything is.
Just have to come and we get
How,
the
yeah,
patients.
some meals may have to be depending on what the budget ends up being, but we'll pay for at least one meal. So at least, if not more, we just depends on what, we haven't done the full budgeting yet, but it does look like the lodging will be covered. And that's covering the tickets. It's likely that food will be covered too, for the most part. And then transportation, it just depends on where the cost ends up being. We're gonna try to make it as free as possible. And obviously the ideal is being totally free.
Like carpooling and.
Yes. Mhm. Yes, and that.
So the main thing we need to know as soon as possible is what the lodging or not the lodging situation, how many people are planning to attend. Once we know how many people are planning to attend, I can contact them and find out what different rates to offer to us. And then we'll have a better understanding, I would say, of what we can cover other than that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can we just do a quick poll first about, results? Sure. Can we just do a quick poll? How interested are people in going to this like indoor water park activity? Like if are they interested in going to this in the winter from Sunday to Sunday, December 15th to Monday, December 16th? It is after the semester, by the way.
Winter break.
Yeah, it's during winter break. It started. I'd be interested in going. I don't know. People are interested. Okay, so yeah, got that. Okay, Annette, it's coming. Maybe not Maggie. You'll think about it.
Maybe because
Maybe it's maybe.
the schedule, like, I have to wait until it's Thanksgiving to know my schedule for December. It's gonna be too early to
Okay.
say, but I would be.
You're theoretically interested though. Yeah.
But you gotta know by next week, Thursday?
Yes.
No.
We want to see if you're interested. We want to see if you're
Because we
interested.
need to make, during December, everything like might be more expensive because it's spring break, people try to go there. So we plan to like do the reservation right now to probably have things cheaper. Because the reservation we do right now, the cheaper is it and the more money we can find like and cover over the other things. So if you can have your response for like next week Thursday or probably next week like Sunday, that would be nice. And then we can start playing like the things. So like
So the rooms are gonna be like double.
maybe sharing room. It depends on how many people is coming in, but
So
definitely.
that
sharing.
means,
There's no way to get around it.
that means you guys can book the rooms there.
We need to know how many people is coming in because suppose we like book a room like of probably 15 people and finally like 8 people is just coming in. We pay for 15, so we waste money.
So mostly we're just interested, are you generally interested? We can figure it out later, more specifics. We are working on that. We just want to know who's interested, to how much to plan for to begin with. So are people interested? Are you interested in,
Just following team.
oh, okay. Are people interested? Like, know how you're probably interested in planning this, right? So I'm assuming.
No, I'm not coming in.
Wait, are you for real? I can't tell.
I'm kidding.
Okay, you always joke with me on that. Okay, yeah, so Lando, are you interested in this potentially, or at least interested on the schedule? Jose, how does that work with your, because I know you work
There are
Saturday.
people online.
Yeah. Yeah, so that doesn't work out. Even during winter? Yeah. Okay, sorry, I didn't know, it's like that. Nevaeh, are you potentially interested? No? Okay, no worries, you don't have to be. Elon? No, okay, you don't have to be, but you know, that's a good 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, so, yeah, 6 people, potentially more people online, I can't see that all, but that's what we got going on
Jason
here.
and Sierra said that they would be interested in attending.
Oh, okay, yeah, so that's like, 8 people. Ibrahima, did you say anything? Cam? It's a Sunday and a Monday, Cameron, so you can still work.
You'll say.
Angel
said too early for him to say something.
It's too
Yeah, me
early,
and
yeah.
Angel, it's too early to say.
Cameron, we planned that around you, just saying, I did take in your schedule into account. What did he say?
Okay, Ibrahim.
Ibrahim
said,
says
I don't know
too
yet.
early.
Too early, yeah. And then Cameron said, he doesn't have to, you don't have to go,
I'll
Cam,
check
but
my schedule. Too early for me to say something.
he said too early, Cameron?
Cameron has not responded.
Oh, okay.
Cameron.
I am under that, I fall under that.
You honor that, okay, so Brahma and Maggie are maybe, okay.
So I guess the question to be asked here is, being that we need to know as soon as possible, and the plan is to get out some survey hopefully tomorrow, so that we know by next week, Thursday. For those of y'all that are unsure, based on your schedules, is it fair to say, will you know more of your availability by or before next week, Thursday? I think that's a big kicker here. If you're not gonna know for another 2 weeks, we do need to know that, because that does change up our process. But I think I want to pose that to everybody. Will you be able to know more within a week, or do you need longer than a week to figure that out? Because that does change the trajectory of what we're looking for.
And it does look like there's 6 people that are solidly interested, and there's about 10 people that are potentially interested, so.
Correct.
What'd Cameron say? Oh, okay, well, he'll think about it, got a week. Anyways, okay, that's what we got going on there, so we'll think about it for next week, and we'll come back with it, send out the survey, and we'll check in again next Thursday. Sound good, everyone? Okay, sounds like we have some public comments, so it looks like our esteemed board member, Dr. Tina,
When I get you all, we're gonna.
Wasn't sure, I
celebrate
knew
that
you were
together,
like
though.
in the
Next year.
process, so, okay. Board, college cabinet member, Tina Alhayden is here, so.
Yes. And so Tina will be moving into becoming our interim vice president for student affairs here, starting in January as well. So we'll be working closely with Tina.
You will be. So thank you. So yes, my name is Valentina Aiello. Tina's just fine. I actually have worked with several of the students on Student Senate, especially to do student parent work. So I'm looking at Annette in particular. have had a long history of working with Student Senate, as you all know. And we like to bring things to you. So we just got done with a forum on our presidential search. And I was here to tell you that Dr. Daniels would be on his way. So Dr. Daniels is on his way.
So yes, thank you very much, Tina, Valentina. So I did have a little mini introduction prepared. So Dr. Daniels, Dr. Jackie Daniels III serves as the president of Madison College. He has a PhD from the Wright Institute Graduate School of Psychology in Berkeley, California. Dr. Daniels has served more than 30 years of higher education experience, ranging from community and technical colleges to graduate institutions. In addition to serving nearly 25 years as community or technical college president, he has held several positions of distinction, including psychology professor, associate dean of math, science, and physical education, dean of instruction, vice president of academic affairs, and in addition to being named one of the most influential African Americans in Wisconsin by Madison 365. Additionally, in early 2019, he received the Phi Theta Kappa Shirley B. Gordon Award of Distinction. He was also received a recipient of the Eagle Award, and he was named to receive one of the 2019 Distinguished Community Awards from the Madison Lynx, and has been recognized with the President's Award from the Urban League of Greater Madison. Along with his numerous awards, Madison College received the Eduardo J. Padron Award for institutional transformation. And my favorite little fun fact about Dr. Daniels, he purchased a firehouse for the school for $1. So, thank you. So for this time, we kind of had like an open amount of time. That'll be a question and answer period with Dr. Daniels, which is open to as long as we need. So as long as you're willing to be here, just to honor your presence here. And one of the first questions that we wanted to ask you is, given your tenure of service here at Madison College, you've had a long legacy of historic policy achievements that you've made. What is one achievement that you'd like to highlight as a lasting legacy that you'll leave at Madison College? So something you've changed here at Madison College that you can say, oh, I'm really proud of that. I know there's lots, but if you want to name just one or a few, well, however you want to answer.
Well, thank you, Kai. I'm always surprised when I hear all that noise you just talked about.
I do research.
Yeah. It's not always about the change someone does. Because I don't think there's anything greater to anyone's legacy who works in higher education than seeing students get what they come for. So they come for within our technical college system, which I understand, I have a community college background. So for 11 and a half years, I've already struggled with technical versus community. Because there's a difference. But it's the best part of the year is always graduation. And we see it twice. Most community colleges see it once a year. But when you see students come across that stage, you know that they have received what they came for, and we had a part of it. That, to me, is the greatest.
Okay, thank you very much. Do we have additional questions in the our audience, and perhaps even other non-members of Senate could potentially ask a question? So, yeah, fire away. For Senator Juf.
Dr. Daniels, I'm honored to be here, like to in your presence. As always, you're one of my mentors here. And I always see you on the hallway. You always stop by to talk to me. You're a very, very nice person. What I want to ask you is, last year is when I saw that you were supposed to leave. So what really is going on? Like, since last year, I saw that you were supposed to retire, and we've been talking about it. So why did it take this long since last year?
Why did it take this long? You want to answer that?
I have nothing to say other than I'm grateful. That you stayed.
I mean, it's sad that you're leaving, but I saw that on the paper and everything, so.
I'm just going to double back to what we just left about 45 minutes ago. So there was a hope that there was going to be a search for a president with the first search. It never got off the ground. The board asked me if I would stay another 6 months because I was going to retire June 30. And I told them I would do that. And then I would serve with the hope that there was going to be a new president coming in. There's some time to transition with that president. That's why I stayed another 6 months.
What is your next, what is your next aspiration, or what is your next plans from here at Madison College?
What's my next
My
next season looks like?
No, what I mean is when you leave, what are you gonna be doing
That's
during
what
your
I'm
time? What do you plan on doing?
What I plan on doing.
Are you still gonna be coming around or what? Because we don't want.
Well, let me see if I can put it this way.
Okay.
As Kai talked about my background, I spent a lot of time in California. I spent time in Texas. I spent time in Florida. And I ask you, what is the thread that runs through all of that? It's called warmth. It's called sun. It's called beaches. So between January and May, the likelihood for me to be in the state of Wisconsin is probably slim as none because it's not warm and you don't have beaches. But I'm not leaving and retiring to go out to pasture. I'm going to continue service, whatever that may look like. There may be other presidents that I can assist. There could be organizations I can assist. And I'll be doing some of that. So I intend to have a full schedule. Have I determined where I'm going to live? Not yet. And it's not about me going to live. I do have a wife. And we have to determine where.
Thank you.
We have a question? So no, hi.
So when you get vote, like when you get able to be a president at Madison College, you have like some goal and some plan. Do you think like at the end of your time right at Madison College, you achieve all of your goal? And if not, what do you want to see, or which kind of goal do you want the president that will come after you to make at Madison College? Like how do you see Madison College probably like 5 or 10 years?
Well, the goal that I want to make sure that we accomplish.
Yeah.
And if you was at the board meeting last night, you heard that goal. It was about the child care center at South Campus. Because that's tremendously important for students and for the community. But what I have disappointment in is the gap for students, especially males of color, who we've seen from a data perspective, they're not succeeding. And there's many reasons why that is the case. So if you ask me what I want to, I can't tell you 10 years. I can feel for 4 or 5 years. Have we moved the needle on Black and brown male success, but also success of those students who have traditionally been marginalized / disenfranchised from the education system? the college has a long way to go. They're making good strides. But if you want to look 5 years later, we have a benchmark today. What have we done with that benchmark in 5 years? And I look at that very strongly because it's nothing new. This issue's been with us for a minimum of 50 years. And so how do we start to move that needle? So hopefully that needle gets moved.
You. You have a question?
We talked about mine.
Oh, we have questions online. Sorry. Yeah, oh, who's online? I'm sorry.
Not a problem. So Cameron just asked the question. I believe we kind of answered this, but I'm going to open up just to the general. Our Senator Cameron Wilkin asked, what challenges will the college face in the coming years once you depart?
We can take that once and depart off. Because it's about what challenges that they're gonna have. One of the challenges we don't know yet. Because we don't know about the biennium. What does that mean for us? So that's a funding issue. But when you talk to any president, any place, they're always gonna tell you, what we're not concerned about is, not concerned, we're concerned about finances and money. I think we gotta move past that. I would be concerned about what happens to our students who are immigrants and undocumented. What happens when we constantly talk about climate, culture, inclusion, and there's a ceiling put on it? What happens when we may have an administration that is focused purely on how a billionaire can make more billions, as opposed to dealing with folks where there's huge need? How do we better serve? What's our connections? What's our alignment with organizations that deal with food, insecurities, housing? And I can also say legal, and I can say some other things about that alignment. Those things concern me. Those are challenges that this college and every college in the country is going to deal with. And if I'm just going to focus on the 16 WTCS colleges, with differing levels, they all have to focus on those. Luckily, we have a very good staff. We got people committed and want to make those changes. That has to continue for the college to be successful.
Thank you. Two other questions, the ones that we do have online.
Yep. So, yeah, I had to lend your voice from Senator Crowder for a person that's not part of Senate, but if you want to say it now.
Sure. So Senator Crowder lends your voice to Cariana. Am I
Yes.
correct in that statement?
Cariana.
Cariana's name. Question is asked, do you think that Dr. Casper will do right by us as the student body? Does your intuition say anything that you feel we as students should know?
Tim has been here, they say 13 years,
Yeah, 11.
year after me, roughly, or before me. And I think Tim has always been committed to students. And I think he will do well in this role. I think part of that is what are the partnerships and collaborations that he already has, but how do you enhance them? The students are the lifeline of the institution. And have to take in consideration what are those student needs and become advocates for them. We know we're going to have an interim vice president for student services. And they'll have to work very closely, as we talk about, with the student needs. And there are student needs. There's organizational stuff around the student need and how that is going to evidence itself over the next 6-7 months. So I think that Dr. Casper, and obviously the board believes this, will do a good job. He has experience, he's got the understanding, he knows the folks around here. So I support that totally.
And final question, and we'll go back to the group here, is there anything you feel the Board of Trustees needs to improve upon or change?
This is being recorded.
This is not recorded, this is recorded, it's a public
No,
meeting.
it's fine.
Yeah.
I'm serious. I mean, you got a good board. I've seen the board change in the last 11 and a half years. A board that has changed from not being as participatory to becoming much more participatory. I see their presence and their activity at conferences and even the meetings that we have. But like anything, I mean, every 3 years, they're going to be up for reappointment if they decide they want reappointment. But then you get a new group on it if they're not reappointed. So it's constant. But this board is a good board. I've had boards or been involved with boards that I couldn't wait for them to get defeated in the election. I've been with boards who believe that they themselves were the administrators and would actually, try to tell folk what to do. I've had board members come to me, sit down and say, you need to hire this person. I've also had board members come to me asking for a job. So we don't have none of that. 11 and a half years ago, it was the fall of 2013, we went through policy governance with the policy governance people. And that's what they have practiced totally. And I think we've done very well. In 11 and a half years, I've had only one vote that was less than a 8-1, and that was once. And we had one time when we had a 4-4 vote, which related to downtown campus, DTEC.
Oh.
The move from DTEC. You remember that, don't you?
Oh, got right here, right here.
So it's a good board.
Oh, yeah, I was gonna ask a question follow up to that. It's gonna go Hassan and then Nevaeh and then Annette. Sounds like, yeah.
Thank you, Dr. Daniels. It's always an honor talking to you. And I admire your leadership. I was wondering if you have any advice for somebody who would like to follow your path, and if you have done something differently, what would it be?
That's a loaded question. If someone's gonna follow my pathway, I'd come to think twice. No. If you're gonna be a college president, I'll just put it that way. First of all, you gotta have commitment to students. You gotta have a good academic background because they're not gonna look at you unless you got one. When I was coming up, if you will, presidents came through the academic side of the house. All of them did. I came from the academic side. Within the last 15 years or so, you see a lot of student service folks go through, become presidents. In the last 10 years or so, we see a lot of people who were in business background became presidents. And for a while there, I also saw military folk become presidents. I think the crux of the matter is you got to have the experiences and the understanding of each one of those areas to become a good president. And you need mentoring. And there's a whole bunch of those mentoring associated inside. And you also have to have someone who cares. But I would tell you, that when you're a president, you're coming from quote unquote the outside and coming to an institution. It's just not the institution. It's the community. And what does the community have for that president? And that's a key point. And it's no different than the search that will be happening now, or even when I came. What is the community? And so I think those are just some elements that I think a new president need to know.
Nevaeh, would you be willing to let Lando jump ahead in the queue since he has class later? Okay, thank you very much. Lando, could you ask your question? I'll go. Nevaeh.
Yes, sir.
So I heard from Kai that one of the first things that you had to deal with as a president was the parking situation. Can you elaborate on that?
I think it was just before your presidency.
Is it related to like where the parking is gonna be?
The parking structure referendum.
Oh, yeah. It had to do with the parking structure.
Well, we never had a referendum since I've been here.
It wasn't officially, it was never made public, but there was a discussion about to have it voted on for the city
There
of
was
Madison.
some conversation regarding having a multi-level parking lot. And it's not feasible. One of the reasons why it's not feasible because it's cost. I built a multi-level in LA. And that was like 2007. And it was $27 million. The cost of multi-level structures is huge because you got to put the pilings in, and depending on how many cars you got running through there, and you have, the modern, there's no parking available. There's some parking available. You got all these lights going on. That just is prohibitive. And if you try to build one today, we actually looked at the cost for the South. And that was in the $30 million range. I mean, those are expensive. We've also looked at doing underground.
Yeah.
And that adds, you can only get so many, right? Because every parking space has a cost. And that's how they determine what that total is going to be. And then you've got ordinances and everything else you have to deal with. So, I know parking, there's not an institution in this country, 4-year or 2-year, that doesn't have parking as one of the issues. The other one is food, but anyway.
I remember years back when we used to have the one in downtown, like when the school was in downtown, that was worse. No parking at all.
Our question order will be Nevaeh, Annette, Jose. I think Cameron had a question, so we'll go start with Nevaeh.
I guess my question to you is, I guess for looking for the other candidates, kind of need to think of what I was gonna say.
Thank you, Dad.
How do you feel that the school is doing on supporting people of color, Black History Month, LGBTQ Month, Indigenous Heritage Month, just things like that? Do you feel like the school is doing enough for them? Or like, I kind of want to know your thoughts.
Let's underline the word enough. Because I never think you do enough in the institution. You can't think about that because if you're just going to have 1 month set aside, or September 15th to October 15th, or you set aside February, or you got March for Women's Month, you got all of these months you set aside. What do you do the other 11?
I guess more.
And so, and I'm just saying, to me, when you think about enough, it's throughout the year. And there is never enough. Because I got to think about what the services are being offered. Where are the gaps? How are we meeting the gaps? How's advising working with students on this side of the equation? Are students transferring? Are students getting jobs? there's not enough of that. When I think about students of color, you look at the data, they have the greatest gaps of learning. They come in with those gaps. They have had the gaps, and as adults, remember our average age is 27. So when you start to look at that, they didn't get those learnings early, and that has just exacerbated the gap in itself. Those are things that enough is never enough. It becomes enough when you got 100% of students coming in and they graduate or they get what they need to do so they can transfer. And we're a long way away from that. The services that we provide have to be on point, and the people providing the services need to be on point.
Only about 15% of students actually end up transferring out of our school to a four-year university. That's what I learned from WTCS. Is that part of Madison College, or
I think ours is like 22.
so it's a little bit higher? Okay.
Yeah.
Just curious where
But there's a reason for that.
Yeah.
Because of the WTCS school, up until 18 months ago, only 3 of us had full transfer.
Wow.
The others didn't.
Wow.
And so right now, they're going through the struggle of getting articulation agreements and those types of things, which I think they're woefully behind in doing that. And I've let them know that.
Thank you. Annette, for the question.
So there's one question in the chat, but I'm actually gonna go with this one. Say that one for at the end of the year or something.
Okay.
Okay, what advice would you offer the current leadership of Madison College, including student senate, on advocating for prioritizing affordable student housing? Sorry.
You know, we looked at student housing 9 years ago, 7 years ago, 5 years ago. And we got some limitations. Because if we talk about around here, it's the FAA. Because there are restrictions on height. Because of so close to the airport. And I think that restriction would only allow maybe, I want to say 3 stories, but I might be wrong. It's no more than 3, it's probably 2. And then you're gonna have to find a third party to do that. So you find a third party to do it, you still gotta find someone who's gonna manage it. And then how you manage the students who are in there. So what we were looking at was trying to focus on international students, because that's a population that we could deal with, as well as maybe the athletes. Because when the athletes go out, they're spread out fairly close to here, but they're still spread out. Then someone had this idea that we build tiny homes. And so there's another college, and I think it's in Florida, that builds tiny homes. And so they had a plot of land where they put maybe 8, 9 tiny homes on, and they rent them to families. We built it, but think about where's the land? Because if we talk about land around here, what are you gonna take? You're gonna take parking. And you're not gonna do that. So I think there's some potential. I think the last thing we looked at was across Stoughton Road. They used to have like a sports bar or something like that. They had volleyball over there, sand volleyball. And we were going to look at that as potential. There was some legal stuff there that owner was dealing with. And that would not have been a good match, to say the least. But I think if you have something like student housing, may have a definite impact on retention. But you're not gonna build a whole bunch of it. So you have to determine what populations would you have in there. So,
I wonder if it'd be cool to leverage business partnerships because there is housing that's like income limited and we could maybe get reservations there. One idea to think about. Yeah, but anyways, moving on to, we'll put you in the queue and it goes to, oh, yep,
It's good to go Cameron's question, then Jose.
okay,
Cameron posted one, Jose, Carriana, and then Senator Drew.
sure,
What we have with you. Okay,
sure.
awesome. Senator Wilkins' question, how do you develop a strong team? How do you manage stress and pressure?
you develop a strong team of looking at what are the experiences that some bring to the forefront. And what is their commitment to students? And also understanding that you don't have all the answers. So you really have to depend on others to assist in that. Sometimes it's difficult because you'll get some people not been there. Figure well, this is what we're gonna do. I was talking to Kevin this morning about this book I was reading called Unreasonable Hospitality. And it's regarding restaurants and hospitality. And one of the things that book talks about is leaders have to listen. And so listening is a key element. And that you have to have a team that listens and that has the best interests of the institution at heart. And you keep trying to do that. So I've been fortunate to have people who have worked with me who have become presidents. And they run their own institutions very similarly. Like 11 of them.
Jose?
Well, just, I guess, piggyback off your comments, I think we all have the best interest here for the student body. And we're all very interested in helping the student experience. And if you could give us any tips on how you can maybe see us be more effective with our time here, as far as helping the student body, helping the student experience, we would muchly appreciate any tips you have for us, Doctor.
You know, there are clubs and associations that students actually use, access. Sometimes they have to know that they're not the only ones. I think you have to be very supportive of your colleagues. Be patient with them. Oftentimes, you never know what experiences that a student brings. We had 20,000 students, credit students, 24,000 credit students. And they're 24,000 different. They're all unique. But you don't get that unless you have a conversation and you listen. Then I think the other thing is helping them to where they can get the support. I find that oftentimes the students don't utilize support as much as we may have because they are not knowledgeable about the support that's available. And so I think really helps students to at least guide them to where they can get the support that they need.
Is there anybody that has not had the ability to ask a question that wants to? So go ahead.
Okay, I thought it was Annette's turn after Jose.
We're just letting some people that haven't asked questions go
Okay.
first, yeah.
Dr. Daniels, I'm Sylvia Bissonette. I'm a first-gen Indigenous student, and I don't know if my question is going to be too hypothetical. At UW-Madison, there's a 4-year paid program for Wisconsin tribal members, and if they would like to attend UW-Madison, all of their 4 years will be paid, with the exception of they must go on to their master's and or doctorates. Do you think that would be possible for MATCU at all, ever? Like, I'm not sure if it's too hypothetical.
Oh, it's not hypothetical. Well, you know, they can't get a master's. And you won't be able to get a baccalaureate. So that's not going to happen because we can't offer that
Yeah.
as opposed to 31 other states. But we have those opportunities where students can actually probably meet that. So if you went through the scholars program and you are a recent high school grad within 6 months of your high school graduation, you can actually have your tuition fees paid for. If in fact you then select that you want to go to UW, because we have articulation agreements and a actual agreement with them, you could go there through their badge of promise, lucky badge, but you don't have to pay either. So there's ways to put that together. If you went to the College of Education, I think not just your fees and your tuition, but also your books. So that's an expensive proposition. Thanks to the Student Senate, we got it down because we do rentals. And that's a huge, huge factor because books cost not this world.
$1.7 million saved as of last year's top calculated.
So it's how we do those connections. I know that our transfer center director, Yolanda, when she's going out, it's just not about what's the agreement, what finances you gonna provide. Like our students need that so that they can carry on. So I think there's ways so that you don't have to pay, but we don't have that relationship that you talked about. I heard about that about a couple months ago. We're gonna pay everything as long as you go ahead and pick your masters and then you turn around and you come back in some type of industry. So.
Thank you.
Do we have any additional questions?
We have a queue currently of individuals who have asked questions.
Yeah.
We have a couple more, but I want to open up, is there anybody else that has any questions that hasn't had the ability to ask one yet?
You did know me.
Okay, if not, then I think, Declan, are you interested in? asking a
I
question
do
potentially?
have a question, if that's
Okay.
all right.
Yeah, are we okay with having Declan ask questions? Okay, Nevaeh says so. So, okay, just to clarify some things, Declan asks a question, then I'll go to Kiriana and I think Maggie and then Nohaya.
Yes.
Sounds like, so that's the queue. Okay, Declan, feel free.
So when I first came here, I noticed that the classrooms look very different from a lecture hall. They're much smaller, and the class sizes are much smaller as well. What would you say from a learning standpoint is the most efficient in terms of class size, and is that congruous to the most efficient for the budget?
There's a break even point to every course in terms of a budget. Because you gotta have so many students in that course to manually pay for that instructor. No one's gonna argue with the data. Research says, just like in your K-12 with everybody else, the lower class size, you should be doing better because you should be getting direct relationship with the instructor. From a budget standpoint, you have to operate above whatever that break-even point is. And you have to take every class and think through what is there. And then you have to think about accreditation standards. So if I got nursing, say, for example, in many of those classes, you can't have any more than 12. Right? However, if I got a Blackboard course like psychology, I know that they can have 30 to 32. But I'm the wrong person to talk about in terms of psychology. I taught classes of 125. And so it's understanding, what's the best. I think optimal and I call them Blackboard classes. A lot of them are in business, a lot of them in social sciences, and not with labs, because your labs are going to only run about 20. So you got to make sure that you have, only 20 spaces for your folks that are going to be doing labs. I think the optimum class size is probably somewhere around 30. And that gives you an opportunity, an average class size, opportunity to actually use some of those dollars that you're gaining in different ways than we do currently. Now use average class size, because you got to put all of that into that process. You put the history class in, you put the auto class in, you put the nursing class, and all of it. Come up, what is the average class? It's a rubric. Thank you.
So to our question online, it's a bit long, so I'm going to try and encapsulate this into a question from Cariana. Do you know of any benefits that would have tipped the scale in favor of a men's homeless shelter being built near Madison College, the Truax area? Was there any other location that could be near, like the UW campus? And then could you explain if there's a notification to the student body, as most students feel as though that they were not informed about it?
And just for clarification, this is the Bartolin shelter that's being built right over by it's over by the Quick Trip on Anderson Street.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's across the street from that. So
Mhm.
just for everyone's knowledge.
City of Madison. That's all I can say about that. Were we informed? We were informed. It's a City of Madison project, and it's not on our land. And I think it's a city/county. And there's opportunities for us to serve them from an educational standpoint. But those discussions haven't been at the table.
And I think just to clarify, so I was there at discussion. So Kiriana and Christina and Annette were all, and me as well, we're all at the Wisconsin Conference on Race and Ethnicity. And one discussion point that came about from that was kind of, I think maybe they'll hopefully agree, is that safety concerns about, a population that there may be safety concerns for having like a homelessness shelter in the area. So I don't know if there's anything about the safety of students, especially with the new bus, Rapid Bus Transit coming to our school as a bus stop.
I haven't had those conversations. But from a sociological point of view, if you don't have a homeless shelter, just using that, because it could be a halfway house for that fact.
Sure.
They deserve some of that shelter. And if there is space for that, I'm saying as a city or county, I'm going to try to do that. But I would also connect with an institution, an association, UW United Way, so they can provide some services. And many of those folks who need services, they need mental health.
Mm-hmm.
And that's something, hopefully, they pass the referendum, operating referendum, so maybe they'll be able to do that.
Yep, and Porchlight is the company that's kind of managing and overseeing the operations of this men's shelter that's being built next door to the Bartolin shelter, or Bartolin, something like that.
And they got a day shelter, and you should look at that as what's happening, which is
the Beacon,
East Wash,
yep.
And because the chamber used to be in that building.
Mm.
And so how is that with that community as well? So just looking at history.
I think Maggie was,
Yeah.
Maggie's next.
What measure does this institution does to implement and adjust tuition fees provided financial support, especially for international students and immigrants that are not qualified for financial aid? What are you guys doing to help international students and immigrants who are not qualified for financial, because they're really struggling, and I mean, I've had a lot of complaint and it's frustrating, like some of them, are dropping their subjects and, want to drop out of college, so it's
Their,
like
and
a stress money.
their health insurance like costs $700 per month, or
Yeah.
sorry, per semester.
Yeah, and their accommodation, some of them are starving too. Food is, affordable.
When we think about international students, oftentimes our hands are tied.
And
Because we don't have the building, because you can't get Pell. And I know that you've got to have the funds here to be able to do some of the things that you do. One of the things I think could assist the foundation, because a lot of this has to be done by private money. But you got to have donors who actually understand what the issue is and being able to provide that type of funding so the scholarships can be given.
food, shelter, hospital.
It depends on, as a funder, I can determine how it's going to be used. But you got to have funders who come in who want to do that, regardless if it's food, regardless of shelter, health, whatever. Because we know it's an expensive proposition. I mean, it's the same issue with undocumented.
Yeah.
Because that's also an issue that, the need for scholarship. But we only have one. And if I remember right, that is only for residents who are in, Fort Atkins in there, what's the county?
James
Yeah.
Jefferson, Rock County, Jefferson.
So-
Jefferson County.
Okay.
So the health department cannot provide, health service for the students?
Health department is run by the county.
Oh, wow.
And so they can state money, because part of that argument would be you're using taxpayers' money to fund a person who is not paying taxes. Right or wrong? Thank California.
Annette, I believe, was the next question within Ohio.
Can I ask one after that?
Sure, we'll say, and then we'll go Hassan.
I'm gonna lend my voice to Christina Bankhead. Her question is, there are students who are facing housing issues, homelessness. I learned at Wiscor that Black Hawk was able to lease dorms or other housing facilities that do require students to pay a deposit. They have a shuttle that brings the students to campus. What do you think of the possibility of implementing a similar program, but maybe with apartments instead that would eliminate worrying about upkeep landlord responsibilities, but can negotiate the housing to benefit the student population needs here?
Black Hawk and,
Black Hawk Technical College.
Yeah.
okay, so there's
In
two
Janesville.
Black Hawks. That's why
Oh, I did not know that.
Oh, I only knew the Janesville one. Is there one in Beloit?
No, there's one in Illinois, Northern Illinois.
Oh, no, Technical
No, this
College,
was
yeah,
local.
because it was from Wisconsin.
Whatever Black Hawk has done and whatever relationship they had developed. And I don't know what it is. I think Midstate also has some dorms. We looked at public-private partnerships. But it's a costly proposition. You can't, and folks that didn't want to do that. Now, this was pre-COVID, much less what it is now. it can be explored. We do have a shuttle, but and I don't know what Blackhawk shuttle's like, but we're pretty standard on where our shuttles travel. But there's always a cost for the shuttle too. So is it a possibility? Sure. But I also think stronger possibility, they're building or want to build 1 million units for affordable housing. And you got to define what affordable is.
And affordable for them.
Yeah. This is get on the ground level for doing some of that. We had a conversation with group, they were doing affordable housing by Goodwill
Commonwealth,
off of,
own it.
I know where it is. Down from Home Depot, go down, it's not Lean, but anyway, that area over there, they bought the new ones. And we were looking at, okay, getting in on the ground level with them, do we have reduced rates? Developers looking at how much money I can make. And there are other ones. I don't know about this one here at East Wash at the corner. Because I think some of those units are supposed to be affordable as well. But I think that's just something that we, in the future, could probably look at. What type of relationships we can have. The other thing we got to be careful about, because we don't own it, we wouldn't own it. And what's the liability? And then what happens? Student goes in there because we refer that student there and something happens. Then the college is that liable. So there's many different things I think they have to look at. Again, I don't know what Tracy did down in Blackhawk.
Probably we can move to, yep, no,
I feel like you have a strong team that is just right behind you. I would like you to give us some advice as a Senate, because you are also a team. Which kind of advice you can give us to build like a really strong and a trusting, and be a really trusting team, how we said? Like, what kind of advice you can give us to improve and be better, we say?
Well, I think the first thing is, and you're talking about this team.
Yeah.
Right? I think, we'll go back to my premise here. Listen, I think the strength of the team comes, how do you collaborate and partner? So what's the 1 or 2 objectives you want to have in the academic year? Not 5 and 6, focusing on one. And everybody working toward that. But as you work toward that, making sure other folks know it. I know when we had, when the Senate was moving with rental books, book rental, I mean, we had constant conversations. And they had the support of the cabinet. And those are the types of things that I think strengthens it. It's interesting. I think Kai made this comment in the previous session about documenting the process. So if you talk about moving to the future, do you have processes that are documented so that they're following what works? Not to say that they can't refine it, modify it, but what did they see work? I think the other thing that makes it strong is a mentoring component. So you're mentoring somebody else who's going to be coming after you. And I think that's another element to make it stronger.
Thank you.
And don't hesitate to call her.
We will.
You're not asking me, but I would also add then that you be mission driven.
Hmm.
That really helps to pull us all in the same direction.
We had a question from Hassan.
So mine's just a quick comment, Dr. I attended school in 2013 and 14, and now I attend school this semester. And the difference I've seen in the character of this school has been tremendous. And I like to think that you had a lot to do with that, and your group of people that you have around here had a lot to do with that. The biggest thing that I got as far as the difference is the compassion that comes from the staff and the inclusion that comes from the environment. So I just want to thank you for that. I want to tell you how much I appreciate that just as one student. Thank you for your service, sir.
Newest senator.
Then, Hassan?
Dr. Danielle, speaking of international students, I was wondering on the upcoming years, how do you see Madison College connecting overseas, not just in America?
Overseas where?
Abroad. Usman Habre.
No, I know,
Bring
but
it
when
in.
you say overseas, define for me where overseas.
But is it partnership or?
Just like partnership that we had, I think in Burkina Faso, are you looking to improve
Expand.
more about that?
To expand.
Yes,
Okay.
I would expect that to occur. There are 11,
Mhm.
maybe 12 agreements
Yeah.
with countries in Africa.
Mhm.
I think expansion
Yeah.
to other areas, international areas.
Mhm.
I think India is another place.
Mhm.
I think there are other countries that can take advantage of what we offer.
Mhm.
Because many countries don't have what is called a community college or a technical college.
Mhm.
And I just think that idea germinated in those countries.
Mhm.
I remember going to southern Brazil, we never had one. We spent 2.5 weeks there to help them create one. I think there's a wonderful opportunity for doing that. And that's why I really question what is the atmosphere going to be starting January 20th of 2025.
Mhm.
And my hope is that I would like to see more expansion.
Mhm.
But it's not expansion for students. It's coming here,
Mhm.
we should be going there.
Mhm.
And there are experiences, there's knowledge, there's
Mhm.
expertise that we can bring many underdeveloped countries
Mhm.
that we could be at the forefront of.
Mhm.
And there are other colleges that do that. There's no reason why we shouldn't be.
Yeah.
Uh,
So we've exhausted our queue.
Time I can ask a question.
Yes,
Okay.
still good to go.
Yeah, I'll try to make.
I don't have PTK until 6:45.
Oh, okay.
Not that one.
I guess there's two questions that I wanted to ask. One of them is, I feel like as working with Student Senate, we often struggle between trying to improve ourselves as an organization and also trying to change the student body and figure out ways to improve the experience for the average Madison College student and make their lives better on campus as a student. So I think some of the things that we're working on and trying to manage is, how do you manage what you're supposed to get done to improve your organization, to improve the system as a whole? And then also there's like the student experience at Madison College. How do you manage those expectations? That'd be the first question. And then the second question is that we have a specific 3-year plan. And the one I'm going to ask you about, because I feel like you'd have the most experience and knowledge on, is our alumni relations initiative. What is your idea about setting up an alumni association for Madison College? Because we're not, we're not sorry, there are existing two-year technical colleges in the WTCS that do have alumni systems. And I feel like that's an area that we are kind of missing out on. And it's like, untapped potential for additional funding that could potentially solve some of these issues for international students and housing and food and additional scholarships, just building that. So that's like the second one. And there's that first one about how do we manage our internal and external priorities. So whichever one you want, I can repeat it if you want to pick one and answer that.
Well, let's take the formal one. So.
Okay.
If you're gonna talk about managing the expectations and planning process, two things with planning. One, which you've already done, is put together a solid plan that was collaborative and it is shared vision within the plan. Second thing about the plan is that you have to have an evaluation mechanism. Assess what you do. Because you may find something that's in the plan that it's not working. You got to ask the question, why isn't it working? And is this something we want to continue? But you can't get to that answer unless you got an assessment. It's evaluating. And that strengthens what you do. Always having an assessment. So your second question.
Alumni Association.
Alumni Association. And you're working with whom?
Brian Woodhouse.
Whom else?
That's the only one we currently know right now. I mean, I guess it'd be Dr. Beth Giles as well.
No.
Or Jones.
I was told name and I forgot, I'll be honest with you, but Brian was here at our last meeting as we discussed this.
Yeah. Foundation's work with with Alumni Association has not been great. Having an Alumni Association, a two-year institution, is problematic. Why is it problematic? Different from some of the other WTCS colleges, we have a strong transient population.
Yep.
They change phone numbers, they change addresses, and you can't keep that going because you can't get information out. We tried several years ago at graduation, get folks' name, get the address, and we would send them stuff, but they no longer there. So, but your premise that if you had a strong alumni association, that's a funding mechanism, that they would be funding things through a foundation, as a foundation, where you could actually set up with their donations, scholarship, you could identify what you want to do, and then you get the alumni to actually fund through that. Another person who has that experience and background is Mel Chauvinot.
Oh, Director of Communications.
Yeah. Because that's where it would have to emanate from. Because we have the database. And so I suggest, because she's talked about it for the last few months.
Oh.
Yeah. Yep. So I
We get in on
suggest you
that.
contact her.
Okay.
No contact tomorrow because she won't be.
Yeah, I do want to say that maybe it wouldn't work for everyone, but there's a contingency of students that would be graduating soon that would be interested in taking part in a alumni association, I'm sure. So,
But the other thing you got to also understand is that alumni also have parents. And you can't go any place in this city or this county without touching somebody who's gone in. There are, I don't know what the number is now, I'll tell you what it was 7 years ago. At AmFam, there were over 350 students who graduated from Madison College. They had an opportunity to come. When you think about where our students are, you can go into a clinic and just ask, where did you get your training? That's the college. You can go into, I don't care, it's police and fire, the same thing. So what is the outreach that needs to happen, not just for most recent ones, but grabbing those tens of thousands who've already come through here? And I think that's one of the things that Mel, we should really looking at too.
Okay.
Contact.
Thank you. We got our contact now. So at this point, I think we've exhausted your time, spent about an hour asking questions to you. So I know you just came from the employee town hall, so we'll save you give you some time before the PTK induction. So thank you, Dr. Daniels,
Yeah.
for meeting with us today. We appreciate it.
You had the last question.
Oh, I'm sorry. I
No, she gonna
didn't
have the
it. I'm sorry.
No, she gave it, you gave it to Christina.
I thought you gave it to Christina. My bad. Do you want to ask?
Oh, I know.
Okay, this will be the last.
Okay. I'm gonna couple the two of them together. Are there any traditions or values you hope will continue at Madison College? And, how did you approach, okay, there's two separate questions, but I'm gonna mix them both and you can either answer one or the other or whatever you'd like to do, Dr. Daniel. How did you approach balancing innovation with maintaining the college's values and mission?
You know, we had an innovation fund. And so we put aside dollars, in the innovation fund. I think the first year we put maybe $400,000 or $500,000 in that fund. And what we do is try to encourage faculty and staff to that 30%. Are there innovations that you want to have with the notion of it would be helping students? What's the relationship? I think we suspended last year, but it's in suspension. But I think that's just another way for the college to do that, about the innovation fund. And we can use that fund as we talk about our faculty staff. Not to say they can't be working with students, but it came from there. And there was actually a committee that would review them. Because at one time, Brian Woodhouse was on that committee. And with Sylvia. And they reviewed them. But it comes out of Sylvia's shop. So.
Is that part of what Dr. Torres does with the action research? Is that a little bit of that or is that a little different?
Not quite.
Sorry.
That's not from the Innovation Fund. He's doing a lot of work in terms of transformational, in terms of culture. And how do you influence the curriculum around that? And so it's it's separate from that. The work he's doing and his staff doing very good. So was that it?
Yeah, you need your time.
Well, there was one last question. Do you want to take a photo of us of any sort?
Yes.
Yeah, I think it'd be big for Senate. Yeah, sure. Okay, you're a photographer. Okay, everyone get up here.
Tina, you
So
too.
include, yeah, good question, good question.
How about if I take it and y'all be together?
Oh.
How about if I do that?
How about you?
I'll let y'all file in for it.
And then get in front of you.
Oh. Now you have to be in the center because you're so tall.
It's all right. Yeah, honestly.
Are you gonna take it?
Huh? Yeah, we'll go this
I'll-
way.
are you
And they're in the background there.
Okay.
We'll be in the background. And then,
Okay, someone
so
needs
you
to
have the-
organize
you have
this.
the-
This picture needs to look nice. We have the president
Yeah,
here.
let's get it
So
centered
let's
here.
get it
You
right.
can be centered around us, then we come around you.
That's
So
it.
you have
All the
cooler.
colors go back.
I'm a short person.
All the colors
I'm a short
go
person.
back.
We can be on
Your
our knees
phone,
like
go
this,
back
and then
around
we'll
here.
do it.
Your head come forward. Your
You can
shoulders.
get here up front.
Yeah.
Hassan, oh, how tall are
Maggie,
you?
your torso back.
I'm not tall, I'm not tall. Am I tall? You said I don't have to go back.
I go back there. Okay.
I don't know. tall.
And then what are you doing?
No, you don't back
Like,
I was big now, I was big like this.
why not come here? You look good?
No, we're trying to do a professional-ish picture.
Yeah.
I know, I'm sure, but
She
we
said
need
that
to
like
do those
everyone.
things of like where you step back.
You shorter than everyone, just
And you
leave
come,
it.
I'm sorry to touch you. Okay, but turn.
Oh, you want to
Yes.
stay.
Turn
Oh, right.
slightly.
You know,
Oh, it's like prop photos.
Maggie, photo here.
My thank you for taking the photos, yeah.
Yeah.
And can you also make sure to get one this way too?
Can you go like next?
Or Instagram.
Hi, you really want to bend your knees?
Like
Should I not?
I don't know, look, just, yeah, it looks like you're hurting yourself. No, you guys are good. Hold on, can you
Next to here.
hold on to the phone? Let's see.
Lean a bit,
Or maybe you turn just a little bit.
Yeah.
A bit. Yeah.
Find your window.
Wait, so I'm going to bend my knees?
No, no.
I'd rather that you didn't, but if you turn more toward me,
Exactly.
I guess, and then, and then scoot back a little away from the neck.
Okay.
And then we can see his face. All
Okay.
right. Okay, you guys, 1, 2, 3, I'm gonna take a lot, okay? So 1, 2,
Share governance.
3. Oh, yeah, share governance. Okay, a fun one. 1, 2, 3, fun. Fun, Dr. Daniels, fun. Yeah, there
Can
you
you
go.
take one this way too?
I will.
Yay.
All right, so you guys ready?
Mhm.
Oh, wait, I have to change.
Give me
the
one
Zoom.
here.
Okay, it's the nice one, it's the nice one.
Okay,
I was like,
nice one. 1, 2, 3.
Nice one,
Okay, and then a fun
a
one.
fun one.
Awesome. I'm wondering if I want to see if I can get a little closer because I got a lot of carpet. I got a lot of carpet and someone is going to be really good with photoshopping. I know.
Okay.
I don't want so much carpet.
Do you want me right next to your brother? You don't want them to know you're related?
Oh, yeah, that's better. Okay, yeah. All right, so 1, 2, 3.
Yo.
Yeah, go ahead. 1, 2, 3, smile. Share governance, what you gotta do? Fun one?
Fun one?
Fun one, thank you. All right, and then let's do it. Oh, yeah, this is much
A
better.
normal one?
It's less carpety.
Do a high five.
Okay, high five. Go ahead, high five.
High five, Dr. Daniels.
High five.
Yeah.
High five. All right, and then a regular one.
A regular one.
That could be normal.
Yeah, 1,
Do I
1, 2,
look
3.
like a shoulder?
No.
Go ahead, get it up here then.
And you just move. Okay.
1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. It's enough. Good.
Thank you.
Okay, so
I'm gonna miss you around. Yeah.
Well, I feel-
And you're.
I'm gonna go. I'm
I'm all set.
Okay.
Yeah, I think
How
it's
about the
Nevaeh.
party?
Where'd Nevaeh
When
go?
when is the party?
Nevaeh is our PR.
Thank you, Dr. Daniels.
You both welcome.
Thank you so much.
Just come to see you again.
Uh-oh.
Next week.
Okay, just leave it out.
Yeah, Nevaeh.
Come around by Dr. Daniels next semester, we're gonna meet a lot. Just like walk around. and-
What?
It's all around.
He's running away from the cold.
after the cold.
Exactly. He said he's running after the, you say he's already running. He's packed all his stuff. He's running away from the cold wind.
I had not planned on it, but are you inviting me? Okay.
That's a new year too.
Active reduction tonight.
Where is it? Oh, I
So,
said.
yeah,
Yeah, don't worry, I got it.
Sylvia does it, and Hassan does it.
Yeah.
I saw you. Oh, so you have to go.
Yeah, still 6:15.
Yeah, I should go.
Oh my God.
Just say an hour to be late.
Stick around for your report
Yeah.
and then come up.
Oh,
after
okay.
that.
Okay.
Yay.
So lots of pictures.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Do you want to continue the meeting and do the pictures later? Thank you. So I just look forward
Don't worry, I got it.
at some point, Cole.
Yep, no,
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna go.
Hi.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's do the meeting, so.
Okay. We are EPSA, you watched when you attend a couple of times.
Thank you. So looking forward to it.
Thank you, David.
Yes, 100%.
Oh, you're very.
So why don't we all sit, get rolling with the meetings, still have folks,
Yeah.
we do have 20 minutes.
Sometime.
Yeah, so.
I think there's some things we do need to go through and then some things we can skip over to suspend,
Let's
so
get up.
let's just
Thank you, Valentina.
figure out. So it's gonna go.
Bye-bye. Thank you, Tina.
Thank you.
Thank you
See
so
ya.
much.
It's gonna go a little late, but we'll do our best to keep it not too
I'm
late.
more just, I don't want us to try and cut anything, because the stuff you do have on here is very important.
We will suspend, I don't know, we'll see if we can hit
Well,
certain
let's see what
items.
else it- oh, let's
Okay.
hope so.
Let's start with the executive council and president report. So that's from me. So I think a few of the things that we need to just go over. Oh, okay. Okay, just bring people back. Okay, so executive council president report. So basically executive council, some of the things that we're considering as legislative bills
are the number of excused absences. Is there a limit to the number of them that we should be giving out throughout the rest of the semester? So that's one thing that we are actively discussing in multiple committees, multiple discussions. A bill hasn't been written yet. I think a bill will be coming fairly soon before the end of the semester. So
Yep.
there'll be discussion about that. And then also like the appeals system, is there changes that need to be happening to that? I don't think there's a bill coming on that, but the discussions have been had. So we'll see what happens with that. Otherwise, for the president report, I think it'll be really important to look at some of the issues from the town hall. We just had a discussion with Dr. Daniels. We're bringing people in, but I think we have to also look at, we're filling the schedule up really well. We're having a lot of discussions, but we need to make sure that we turn these ideas, these discussions into something that's going to be lasting impact for the Madison College student body. So they can't just be discussions. They can't stay in the realm of, like ideas. It needs to actually turn into something tangible, whether that be a bill or a resolution, and then it needs to impact the campus. Because I want to be sure that by the time we're done here, that we have something we can look at and say, hey, Student Senate, we did that. We listened to the student body, and now we can point to that and say, this is something we've done. So that's something I want you to all keep in mind. How do we make sure we turn those ideas into action? And that's the end of my report. Any questions?
No.
No? Okay, we can move on to Administration and Finance Committee, VP Tao.
So on Monday, we passed we approved 3 requests for club funding, all of them asking for event funding. One of them is asking for covering of food, and the other 2 is just normal club funding, since they did not violate any laws. So we passed all of their requests.
And that might be, okay, perfect.
Back on Friday from SAB, so beginning in July 2024, so basically we are going to increase some money per credit, like 0.25 something, but the total will be 2.94 per credit. Secondly, fitness center is going to get more treadmills to compensate the usage of the treadmills for some running class. And student leadership position in student life and performing arts that are compensated with student activity are going to be compensated with student activity fees. And also some jobs are shifting from becoming hourly paid role to a stipend paid role. And we also conducted a discussion of hourly payment versus stipend in terms of their courtesy on the absence. And that's the end of my report.
Okay, thank you very much. Is Hassan online yet, or is he coming back?
No, he went for his induction.
Oh, I
Yeah,
wanted
he
him to
has to be
stay
down
just
there.
for the little bit longer. That's fine. Okay, no, I know.
Be there by 6:15.
Oh, he's supposed to be at 6:15. Okay. Well, it's 6:15. Okay, whatever. Okay, we'll move on to Team Development Committee then.
No report.
No report?
Yep.
Oh, because you already gave it earlier. Yep. Okay, thank you. Public Relations Committee, VP Jackson Winters.
Yeah, so, just trying to remember everything. I guess our last meeting, me and Stacy were planning to try to make like a resolution to have like a day where Student Senate promotes like mental health or something along the lines of that. That's still in process, but that's something that we're interested in. I started a poster for the petition. I just need more information about the petition and to get like a QR code for the link.
Well, I think we can collaborate with our team to make that happen for you. Yeah.
Yeah, because I'm not sure if like about the petition part, kind of confused.
The petition, you just need to put a QR code to it.
Yeah.
Me and Cole are handling the petition. That part is essentially done. It just needs to go active on Monday. So I'll just have to send him a message on that. So you're just making the promotional material for it. And we're gonna present that later, maybe today.
Okay.
I just might be
Okay,
working
got
with
it.
him
So-
to finalize what that looks like, but I took your design and kind of changed it a little bit, but it was a very good base, so, yeah. I really liked it.
And that's all I have, that I can think of, so.
Mhm. And then, the Meet the Senator Town Hall, did I send you that folder yet, or?
No, you didn't.
I didn't, okay, I need to send that to you then, okay.
Yeah.
So that's on me. Okay, thank you very much. Advisory report, sorry, do you have another question?
Just a quick question about
Yes.
the, town hall. Is that gonna?
That's on the agenda.
Results gonna be shared?
Yep, it's on the agenda,
Thank
Cole will
you.
do that, so Cole will talk about now in his advisory report. On to you.
Yeah, so, I guess I'll sign a little bit, because I don't think we'll get through the full, the town hall, but, the semi-raw data of the town hall has been sent to you all, it's an Excel document. And so I tried to make sure that you all just had access to it from the, Senate 2024-2025 listserv. Long story short, 250 students stopped by us, and we got the results of the 250 that were in person. VP Jackson Winters did send me the Google, responses. I haven't been able to add those yet. So what you do have right now is the semi-raw form of it. I will work to modify it more, and hopefully we can have a greater discussion next week about that, but kudos to you all, for doing so, because it was really, really strong. I think the one thing, don't clap themselves. The one thing that we'll just need to know into the future is how do we best reach our online students and our regionals, because we did not have anybody attend our online, town hall, that I facilitated due to a scheduling error on my end. We had it for 1 hour. It was posted through Wolfpack Connect, also through our emails for attendees. Just how do we address that into the future? As I think that would be something good for us to figure out as we kind of move forward.
Did that ever get made up? What?
No, it did not. And that's one thing that I'm trying to figure out what's going to be the best way to do it, because I want to give ample notice for it as well.
Mhm.
I want to give, like we were doing with this, we were giving notice 3 weeks in advance, 2 weeks in advance, and a week in advance for people to attend.
Mhm.
So I think that could be a discussion you and I have next week, to identify a timeline that would be effective to do so. And if there's something we can tie it in with as well, that is already ongoing either on campus or with Senates.
Okay.
Question, what was it?
Yeah, for Advisor Cole, did you think of any ways to reach out to the health building to get them to learn more about Student Senate and what we have to offer as far as services for them?
Yeah, so I was gonna come next week once I had more information, but I guess, yeah, what I'll talk to you all is, I got a list today of all active student clubs, not organizations, just clubs, as well as who their advisors are. And they'll be getting an email from me in the next week here asking to attend, if not this, semester, beginning of next semester, maybe piece it out to some of y'all as well. Attending those clubs so that we can kind of talk about Senate and really get that info out there, but also help us in our recruitment as, elections will kick off in February, March of next semester.
Okay, one additional question?
So you were talking about the online students not participating, like how can we change that next semester coming?
I think
Like
that's,
to get them involved, like
Yeah.
to participate?
I think it's a conversation we have next week. We will need time to go in depth of how do we best reach them. That's a good question. That's one thing we will have to figure out.
Moving on, we can go to our unfinished business, Student Senate Town Hall. There's something like, do you think we should wait till next week or?
I would say wait till next week. What I will tell you, if you read my email, I highlighted everything that showed up multiple times. So if you want to know what was something that students were writing down a lot, I highlighted it with the number of times it was shown on there. So one of our biggest ones was availability for study pods. That was one of the biggest ones, or
Yeah.
silent study areas that would show up. I'm going to tell you, probably showed up at least a dozen times over the week.
Mhm.
Along with some other things as well. So. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Maybe we can get a motion to suspend the president search debrief, the legislative ideas,
I'll be honest, I think that won't be the quickest.
which, the president search debrief?
Yeah.
Okay, sure. Do you want to give?
Yeah, I think that's totally fine. So yeah, real quick for the president search debrief, because I'm going to tell you right now, we'll find it. We'll get you the recording from the town hall today. The town hall was very informative, as well as the email sent from Kai yesterday from the district board meeting. Here's what you got to know. Long story short, board stated that the reason that they suspended the search and are restarting it now is because they had identified this number. This number was not known to us. Now it is known that they wanted 3 candidates to be brought to campus. Once the first candidate dropped out, I don't remember the name, I apologize, and we
Yeah,
went to 2
I
candidates.
did. Yeah, I remember who dropped
Yeah.
out, yeah.
They suspended the search because they believed 2 candidates was not an effective number to bring to campus to make a decision. Read into that as you will. That is the statement from the board. Kai did provide the insight as to what are the next steps, and that they will be opening the search up immediately now, running through December, semifinalists identified by early January, and then coming to campus here. Hopefully, they said 5.
Sorry?
I think it was 5 people coming to campus, semifinalists. Is that correct?
I suggested during the meeting that we make it a minimum of 5.
Minimum of 5.
Yeah.
So a larger quantity than what we had last time to come to campus for us to be able to have our meetings with them as students and then as the faculty as well. Decision to be made in March. They would start July 1 as that is a new fiscal year for the campus. If you have questions, then honest, if you have questions, we're going to get you that recording. It's best to watch that recording to start because it does answer a lot of the questions that you may be looking for. But if you want to know why did we choose to do that, the board is the one who made the decision. Why was Dr. Casper appointed? Again, the board had made that decision as well. And I even did some digging as to who is the longest serving individual on the president's cabinet right now. Besides Dr. Tim Casper, it's Dr. Mark Thomas. And Dr. Mark Thomas, who came in with us, who was in charge of Vision 2030. I think he outweighs Dr. Casper by a few months in terms of longest serving president cabinet member. So those are some of the reasons I dug into that a little bit because I was like, I want to know how long people have been here for as we made those decisions. That is everything on the president search. And then as we know, Kai had mentioned Kai was serving on the search committee.
Yep, I've been invited to it, be part of it again.
Yes, so that's what I wanted to say is that Kai will be able to continue to serve as a student representative on the president search committee. And if anybody does step down or step away from the search, they will be reaching out to other individuals. I'm not saying that it doesn't include students. Maybe there could be a second student or a third. I guess I don't know. But there is the chance that there will be some change for the search committee as a whole based upon if somebody does decline and does not want to continue.
And then I saw that Dr. Casper is going to be acting.
Yes.
And then Tina is acting too.
Yes. So the elevation is Dr. Casper will become interim president. Valentina Hito will become our interim executive vice president for student affairs. And then Dr. Mark Thomas will simply take on the regional campuses and oversee them.
Okay, I see this changes, so I just wanted to clarify.
No, not a problem.
Yep.
I think that's everything with it. Anything I missed?
No, it sounds pretty good wrap up to me.
All right, there we go.
Thank you. I'm about to join and so I can share. This is petition. So Nevaeh, I actually made some additional share. Sure, I'll just share my entire screen. You can see all my tabs. Oops. Oh, I put this. Can everyone see now? Okay, you're seeing yourself here. So this is the petition that Nevaeh made and I modified a little bit. So you'll see here that basically it's just kind of like a picture of people in the SAC studying. There's just something saying that this is a petition supporting the SAC. There's our logo up here in the corner. We need your help to support the Student Achievement Center. There's a little chart here that we'll zoom into. Alex Kaiser was gracious enough to take some time to create this chart based on some of the information that we obtained about that. It's just showing the amount of expenses that we that have been invested into the SAC specifically for student tutors, and then the number of visit hours and kind of just correlating them amongst that. You'll see that in fiscal year 2023, it was a bit higher. And part of that reason is that there was additional funding from Achieving the Dream that's being issued with that, but you don't get as with that, the amount of students you can visit is limited because they're attached to the course and they're specifically there for the course. So it does look a little inflated for 2023 and spring 2024. But that's the reason why, because of Achieving the Dream. But generally, you'll see a trend that if you invest more money, more people are able to come because of availability, or at least that's what that's the claim that we're making. So it's just kind of including some of this picture here and additional language here explaining what this chart says and why we need you to sign it. And then there'll be a QR code in the link here. Yep, that'll link to our actual petition, which me and Cole are finalizing in our Wolfpack forms. So is there any sort of feedback that we have for this? Any additional comments that you like? Do you like it? I took a lot of Nevaeh's ideas and just changed it slightly.
So the QR code will just take you directly just to
Yes.
to sign and do whatever you want to, right?
Yep.
Okay, good.
Yep, and we'll be able to print out a couple of these to just be in the SAC that people can look
Right.
at, and then we'll have to get that printed out, and it'll probably take about a week and probably won't come out until the week after.
Correct. If I can maybe give you 1 or 2 copies.
Yep,
we'd have
yep,
immediately.
just like a few copies to put in the.
But anything
SAC.
beyond that, we'd have to go through duplicating.
Mm.
The other thing I will tell you, because we do need it for verification purposes, I don't want this just to be opened up to anybody who can scan a QR code. You will need to sign into Wolfpack Connect.
Yes.
Yes,
So I'm
and
just
then
be clear with that.
I just wanted to say, like, make sure the QR code works because sometimes it happens a lot here. Like you just go in and then you're in another app.
Mhm.
It just happened to me today, so.
Okay.
Well, that's.
Yep, and then Nevaeh, I think you had your hand up.
Yeah, so I can see a lot of the changes that were made, and I think maybe like some of the coloring should be a bit different. I think there's a lot of different colors going on, and but I guess my original poster was more like simpler because I didn't want the graphs to be there, just because if people click the link to the petition, they were able to read it. And if it's just a lot of information going on, people are not gonna read that. They're just gonna be like, whatever.
Okay.
But I think that's just my personal opinion. But maybe have it like more higher up and we can talk about it later because it's very low. But I don't know.
Yeah, 'cause I
What are
want-
you talking about? What's low?
Just where it is. I just wanted to showcase the people
Yeah.
studying, so maybe there's a different way to do that, but yeah, we can talk about it. You're the,
Yeah, even
You're
the
the-
QR code, just make sure it's visible, so.
for sure. And Jose?
Yeah, I'd like to just give some positive feedback that I like. We were talking about it weeks ago, and now I'm seeing it being put together, and I want to thank you guys for your time. And, you know, this project has been something that's very appreciated.
It's-
And I hope it'll land on.
It's a
good
huge,
intentions, yeah.
it's a huge move.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would like to see it. I want to put that $29,000 reduction on there. I want them to know that that's like the financial cost of it, so, yeah.
Just my
Yeah.
feedback. Just thank you for everybody that had their hands on this.
Yeah.
Advisor Cole.
Yeah, Nevaeh made the design. I just kind of modified it in a way that does not fit Nevaeh's vision. So if you don't like it, blame it on me because Nevaeh had a more consistent design. I'm not a designer by trade, but we can improve it, Nevaeh. So don't worry, I'm not going to stamp anything. I'm not going to push anything
It's
out
a
without your
good
stamp.
job. You guys just
Yeah.
need to modify it a little bit.
Yes, and
Move things around.
So the petition itself, what does it say on it?
it's basically what we approved last time. So it's all that information in addition to the actual PowerPoint that from Dr. Casper as well as Alex's letter. And I don't think there was anything. Oh, I think maybe we can just include the information from the SAC about the number of tutors. So maybe we can include that additional because I just got that like this week. So, or maybe last week. That's how Alex came to me with this graph. So you'll find a way to make it.
And are we including our resolution on it, or are we making that students senate? Or I don't have a problem including a resolution. I just would want to make it friendly to students who don't care to read a resolution, if that makes sense. Like,
Yeah,
without
it's
the-
that those are additional things you could click on if you wanted to. The actual words were what you read on the page last time. So yeah, I took your suggestion, made those edits. And yeah, that's what it is, that like the Word document I sent out. So, yeah.
I just wanted to check.
No, that's a good job.
And my suggestion,
Your suggestion was to,
make it like, not really feel like we're attacking them, just like, you mean, like the words.
I think
Sharing
we-
both
I
sides
think-
of the story.
yeah, I did
What's
that,
happening.
definitely. Yep, I did that. I made that a addition to include the information from Dr. Casper's side of it. So yes, I did include that change. Okay, cool. I think that's everything for now. Okay, we are getting close to time. I feel like we could probably scrap legislative ideas to table that. And then maybe just do the rest just to the end. Just do that. Can we get a motion to table the legislative ideas? Motion to table, do we have a second? Second, any opposition? Okay, voters unanimous for approval. If that doesn't pass in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, you can move forward. Great, thank you. Moving forward to non-business, WSG check-in. Cole, you want to check in real quick?
We got everything set. We're leaving tomorrow.
Okay, yeah, and who is going?
Myself, Jose, and Annette.
Oh, perfect. Who will be, okay, Jose, are you going to be serving as our governor then?
Yes, and I'm working with them on it.
You'll have a whole car ride to discuss that. And I guess I'll have some documentation
It's
sent out.
Friday.
Yes, Friday to, Moraine Park Technical College and Fond du Lac campus.
That's how long that would drive.
Just a
Hour,
few
10 minutes, yeah.
hours. Oh, hour?
Hour, 10 minutes.
Hour, 10 minutes, okay, yep. So, yep, there's that.
It's
Yep.
really helpful. Just let me know.
Yep, and then, me and Annette will have ownership over that, so it sounds like that's all?
Yep.
Okay, yep, and I sent the information out today, so you would have seen it.
Yep.
Yeah, okay, so there's that, and the second email's coming out later, so. Okay, rest of the semester, I just wanted to give an overview. We only have a few more weeks left. How many more meetings? We have 1, 2, yep, we have 3. Our last meeting will be on Thursday, December 5th. That'll maybe be a lighter meeting depending on the amount of issues that we have, but I feel like it'll be just kind of more of a check-in type meeting. There may even be some food. I don't know, Nohaya, if you think that's like within our budget / planning capacity. Maybe we could, food or something like that.
Or what?
For the last meeting on this Thursday, December 5th, last time we had a little potluck in the
Yeah,
den.
yeah, we did. It
So-
was nice.
It was nice, right? So, yeah.
It's why the thing was people bring food there. The thing was people travel and then the money that we
so,
were
okay.
planning to do like.
Oh, okay, so that
like-
takes place of it. Okay, so we will
Exactly.
not be doing,
No,
Apart
but if,
yeah,
if I'm like say like, it depends how many people sign up for the travel. If we don't have enough people sign up, we can just like
Do the
take a
potluck.
lot of this money, do the potluck and still do the travel.
okay, we can
Yeah.
think about that. Okay, let's hear back next week about whether we get ideas back from them, and then I think we'll be able to do it, okay?
Yeah.
So we'll wait for next week and see on that, okay?
Yeah.
That's the rest of the semester. And then Annette had a little survey that you wanted to share. Sorry, I went slightly out of order,
You're
but
fine.
yeah.
If you look on whoever's logged into the computer right now, it tells you all about it right there.
where?
It's in the
On
chat.
the chat.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, I'll
So
check it
there's
out.
little cards downstairs in front of Student Senate. I'm sorry, in front of Student Life on the right side on the table there, and it has those 3 different temperatures that you see up there, climates. And basically you just kind of fill out a comment card, identify that you're a student. You don't have to put your own personal information on there, and then basically just tell the school how you're feeling. And I just think it's really important, since we're representatives of the student body, that we are at least expressing something. I also feel like that they never get very many comments on these cards, and so that's why I think it's even more important to share this information, that's in funds, et cetera.
Okay.
Yeah, we can go do that. I can probably do it next week and we'll be gone tomorrow.
You just take it with you.
Okay. Announcements. Our next meeting will be on Thursday, November 14th in room C242 at 4:30 PM. Do we have any other announcements? We have a motion to adjourn. Motion made by Senator Jupe, second made by Senator Villarreal. At this point, do we have any discussion? Okay, if there's no opposition to adjourn, then this meeting will be adjourned in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Meeting adjourned at 6:33 PM. Thank you very much.